Hey, Vinny Milkus here, Strive for Five Fishing. I just picked something up at the store and I kind of want to do a little review over it. I took it out the other day too and killed some smallmouth with it. And this is going to change the way that we shaky head fish. And for me, just throwing a jig, it's going to kind of take some of the application away that I usually throw like a small Texas rig for, or yeah, shaky head. And it's this perfection lures bait or jig head made by David Dudley. Awesome bait. If you take a look here, the first thing you're going to notice is it has these little wire extensions that come off the back, and I don't know why hasn't thought of this in the past. I mean, it's ingenious, and it works every bit as what David Dudley says. If you watch like some of the reviews, this is his bait company and his bait. But check this out. So when you cast this thing out, it wants to stand up. You don't have to do anything else. I just pop it, and that thing wants to stand up. And if you've seen just yesterday, I kind of beat it up a little bit, but every time I pop it in, I was watching it was really clear. Well, every time I pop it, even if it somehow landed like that, which 9 times out of 10 it lands straight up, you pop it, it goes right up. It wants to stand up, that tripod. And I mean, the smallmouth, every one that I caught, they really sucked it in. It looks just like a crayfish and defensive posture. You can put a bunch of different stuff on here. Right now I just have a smallie beaver. But there's a couple baits that I want to talk about that I'm throwing on this as well. Some old school stuff that has been your traditional shaky head worms, and another one that I like too. If you've seen my roboworm Ned rig deal, where I was talking about them, they make a 5-incher, and the 5-incher is killer on this thing. But I caught quite a few smallmouth just on the beaver, and I used to throw this on just a Texas rig, and I still do. I still will in certain applications, run a lot of cover. But around out here in the west, where there is some wood stuff and some other cover, but a lot of smallmouth lakes are real rocky. I just throw this where you traditional football head, or we throw a lot of other stuff. And they have a recessed little hook slot there. Everything about it I like so far. Even the little tripod deals, they have little nubs of it on the end that kind of help for balance and getting it upright. I mean, it was well thought out. Has a keeper too, so if I take this beaver off, see how hard that kind of is to take off right there, but it has a little keeper, and the thing works good. I mean, I caught a few smallmouth. Like I said, they were knocking the heck out of this thing, and it still sits on there. In fact, it's kind of ripping. Instead of the plastic being torn down, it's actually starting to rip that hole because where you're moving it back and forth, which is a good sign. That means you got a good keeper. I mean, the plastic's going to wear out, but you can at least get a few more fish off these baits. Whereas in a lot of these other ones, a lot of other jig heads or whatnot, once you get that little bit of plastic wear back and forth, they just slide off and on, and it becomes real hassly to keep readjusting the plastic. Whereas this, it locks it in. It's great. Anyway, check it out, Perfection Lures. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but just sometimes going to change the way I fish a lot, and it already has. Anyway, check out Strive for Five Fishing. Got some exciting things coming with that. Like, subscribe to this channel to help support this. Soon I'll be letting you in on some of the stuff that Strive for Five Fishing is going to be doing. Very exciting. Anyway, peace.